Alrighty, Razer Viper Ultimate just got delivered. This is Razer's lightweight esports wireless gaming mouse right here. There is also a wide version of this available called the Razer Viper, which costs I think around £80 on Amazon, probably around $80 in the US as well. But the mouse that we have here today is the Razer Viper Ultimate version, meaning it's basically the wireless version of the Razer Viper. It also comes with a charging dock that has RGB, and the mouse itself does also have RGB, just in case you were wondering. But with all that said, let's unbox this mouse, take a look at it, take a look at the RGB of course, and see whether this mouse is any good, as it is pretty damn expensive. But from the reviews that I've heard online, this happens to be, I think, Razer's best wireless mouse to date. It has a lot of new technology inside here, so let's go ahead and check this mouse out and see whether or not it's worth upgrading to. Today's video is brought to you by the Tech Block merch store. Go check it out. First link in the video description. We have t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, all sorts of designs, but does it have RGB? All sorts of things on sale over on the Tech Block merch store. Go check it out. First link in the video description. If you're interested in supporting the Tech Block YouTube channel, go check out the merch store, pick something up. If you do end up picking up something from the merch store, be sure to send me a photo of you wearing it so that I can give you a shout out on social media. Alright, now back to the video. By the way, Tech Block mug available over on the Tech Block merch store. Go check it out if you want to get some sick RGB merch or some very nice merch featuring the logo. Or does it have RGB? Alright, let's get this mouse unboxed. We have this package here that DHL delivered to me literally a few minutes ago. Okay. Alrighty, Razer Viper Ultimate wireless gaming mouse with charging dock from Razer. Features, of course, Razer Chroma, RGB, very important. Razer's HyperSpeed wireless technology, which allows the mouse to achieve up to 25% faster wireless transmission between your PC and the mouse, which is actually really impressive, as I think there's nothing else on the market that is as fast as sending the wireless signal from the mouse to your PC as this mouse. I'm pretty sure this is the fastest and most responsive wireless gaming mouse out there on the market to date. And not only that, but it also features Razer's brand new Focus Plus 20,000 dpi optical sensor. 20,000 dpi is kind of, a little bit insane, but this sensor happens to be extremely accurate and pretty much perfect for esports. It features Razer's optical mouse switches here as well, which I think are rated for around 70 million clicks each, which is absolutely insane. 5 onboard memory profiles, and the mouse is also extremely lightweight, weighing in at just 74 grams. Bear in mind, this is a wireless mouse. There is a battery inside here. So the fact that they've managed to achieve such a lightweight mouse, 74 grams, is pretty damn impressive. Taking a look at the side of the box, as you can see, this mouse really is themed around esports. Hashtag Team Razer, of course. There's a professional CSGO player right here, Taco, and he says this sensor is very good mouse and all. So as I mentioned earlier, Razer's HyperSpeed wireless technology, very fast transmission to your PC, hardly any delay at all. You probably would not notice that you're using a wireless mouse as opposed to a wired mouse. There is almost no delay at all when it comes to actually sending the signal from your mouse to your PC, which is very important when it comes to esports, of course. Razer's optical switches, there's no debounce delay or anything, as there's no physical contact required to actually send a signal from a mouse click to your PC, which is always good. Of course, esports very important. Just a very responsive mouse overall. As for the battery life though, it's apparently rated up to 70 hours of battery life. It does of course come with a charging dock that has RGB, and the mouse itself does have RGB as well. Whether or not they tested the 70 hours of battery life with the RGB turned off or turned on, I do not know, but I'm gonna probably test this out myself in a full review of the mouse coming in the near future. So if you're interested in seeing that video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Taking a look at this side of the box though, of course, we have Razer Wireless Speed technology, just talking more about their new HyperSpeed technology that just transmits the signal very quickly. All right, that's probably enough talking. Let's get this guy unboxed, take a look at it. So, cut this seal right here with a karambit fade, and take a look at this mouse. Alrighty, very well presented of the mouse itself. Now, some of you may not be the biggest fan of the actual shape of the mouse. This is because the mouse is an ambidextrous shape. The shape of the mouse is designed to suit both left-handed and right-handed people. That's why it kind of looks, symmetrical. Unlike something like this. This is the Razer Mamba Hyperflux Edition. This is what I've been using for several years now. Ever since this came out, I picked one up, and this has been my daily driver ever since. It's essentially a wireless mouse that never needs to be charged, as it is always wireless charging through this wireless charging mouse mat. which is great. So it has a lot of RGB, very, very responsive mouse as well. But the Razer Viper Ultimate that we have here today happens to be pretty much a better mouse in just about every single way. Apart from the fact that the shape of the mouse is quite different from something like the Razer Mamba that we have here. I'm going to pop this guy back on its mouse mat so we can charge. Alrighty, let's take a closer look at this mouse. So this logo right here, you can barely just see it there, but there is actually a tiny little Razer logo right here that will light up. It does have RGB. We have the two mouse buttons, of course. Here's a little sound test for you. And the scroll wheel is also tactile, and ooh, that is very nice. Razer's scroll wheels are absolutely fantastic. This entire mouse, even though it weighs, just 74 grams, don't think that this is going to be like some cheaply built mouse. The entire body of the mouse switches, the scroll wheel, there's nothing about this mouse that feels cheap or, like poorly built. It's just 74 grams, but the whole mouse itself is still very solid. So let's take this film off of here, and we have an on-off switch for the mouse. So we can turn it on. Boom, as I mentioned a second ago, this is of course RGB. I think maybe this is the only part of the mouse that actually lights up. I think I might have been wrong about this scroll wheel lighting up as well. Taking a look beneath the mouse here, we have the 20,000 DPI optical sensor right here. This is the Focus Plus from Razer. And we have the actual USB dongle for the mouse here as well, which is safely housed inside of the mouse. Can we take it out? Okay, yes we can, brilliant. We can pop the cover back on, just like that. And we can go ahead and plug the mouse into my Razer Blade. This is a 240 Hz display. So I feel like testing this mouse out on something like this would be, just about perfect. This here is a very high-end gaming laptop, so testing something like the Razer Viper Ultimate on this one would be very good. So let's see if the mouse is actually working. Yes, it is, and oh my god, like this display on this laptop is absolutely amazing. Continuing on, at the bottom of the mouse here, we also have a profile switcher. This little button right here, that once you press, there's a little LED there that actually changes color to indicate what profile you've selected. So there's a little profile switcher button there, of course the on-off switch for the mouse itself. I'm going to probably not press that as we are currently updating the mouse in the Razer software. Oh, and as you can see right there, Razer Viper Ultimate has finally been installed. Let's see what we can do here in the software. So we can select not really many lighting effects at all. And as for the brightness of the LED, it's currently set to 33%. Let's see how bright this thing gets if we crank it up to 100. So the LED here is actually pretty damn bright. Once you crank it up to 100%, it's not too bad. It's pretty damn good. It's currently set to a spectrum cycle effect. Of course, there are also some other effects to choose from, such as static. You can change this from, one static color to another one, just like this, green, red, whatever you prefer, whatever your gaming setup is themed around. You also have reactive. You may be like, what the hell is reactive? Well, every single time you press a mouse button, the scroll wheel, this doesn't work if you actually scroll, but if you press the scroll wheel, the light will react. We have breathing, of course. This can be two colors or just, random colors breathing in and out of each other. Just like this. Okay, that's the breathing mode. We have audio meter. This will essentially make the LED react to audio, which is always cool, especially if you like listening to music. Who doesn't like listening to music? I'm going to set this back to a spectrum cycle, and I'm going to probably leave it at that. As for all the other settings over in Razer Synapse, we have the battery percentage displayed right here. That's the only way to check the battery percentage of the mouse using Razer Synapse 3. So we're currently sitting at around 72% battery. I've not charged the mouse at all. This is just how it came. We have power, so we can enable wireless power saving, enter sleep mode if idle for 5 minutes. You can of course adjust this all the way from 1 minute up to 15. When wireless, enter low power mode if the battery level is below, let's say 30%, 100%. Well, you can just immediately enter into low power mode at all times if you want to. But I'm gonna probably set this to probably around 10%. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. As for performance, you do of course have sensitivity stages. Oh, I see. So if you would like to cycle between the different sensitivity stages on the mouse, you have to press this button right here, just above the on-off switch. So once we press this, we go from 400 DPI to 800, 1600, 2400 and 3200. Then it resets back to 400 with the little red LED there indicating that. Over here we do also have mouse use options right here. So as this is an ambidextrous design, you can choose between you being left-handed or right-handed. You may be wondering, hey, why does it only go up to 3200 DPI? Well, over in Razer Synapse, you can customize this to go up to 20,000. Now, when it comes to me, I usually stick to around 800 DPI. That's pretty much the DPI that I'm always at on all my mice. So this is what I'm going to be sticking to. But if you want to, you can go ahead and crank the DPI up to 20,000. Now, notice how much I move my mouse and how quickly the cursor on the screen is moving around. Like 20,000 DPI on a 1080p monitor is just ridiculous. So I'm gonna just try to crank this back down to 800. There we go. That's much better. So yeah, 20,000 DPI. It can go up to that setting if you for some reason want to experience 20,000 DPI. But I'm going to be sticking to 800, I think. As for the polling rate of the mouse, no changes here. It goes from 125, 500 up to 1000. Finally, we have the calibration tab. So we have mouse mat surface calibration. I've seen a similar setting on the Razer Maba mice. Your Razer gaming mouse delivers immensely accurate tracking straight out of the box. To experience even higher level of precision, add pre-configured Razer surface profile or calibrate your own. Okay, so smart tracking. Set a single cutoff point for your preferred distance in millimeters, regardless of the surface it is placed on. So we can have all the way from 1 millimeter up to 3 millimeters. Whether or not this makes an actual difference, I'm going to test out right now. So around 3 millimeters of liftoff distance, and we can still move the mouse around. Okay, I'm going to set this all the way down to 1 and see if I can do no. So 1 actually does make quite a big difference there. The mouse has to be within 1 millimeter of the surface in order to actually begin tracking. Cool. We have manual calibration here as well. So we can add a surface. Yeah, this is what I'm used to seeing on the Razer software. I have the Razer Firefly Hard Edition mouse mat right here. So you can go ahead and press calibrate, and that will calibrate your mouse to a specific mouse mat. So we have custom, of course, if you have, a non-Razer mouse mat, God forbid, but there are also plenty of Razer mouse mats here to choose from if you do happen to have one of their mouse mats. However, Razer, I think, have worked pretty hard on developing this smart tracking technology, so you don't really have to manually calibrate the mouse to a mouse mat. It'll pretty much do it itself regardless of what surface it's placed on. So that's pretty much it for the whole software side of things when it comes to the mouse. Let's continue the unboxing by taking out a few other bits and bobs out of here. So we do of course have the Razer charging dock itself. Now this has a little USB port right there which you're going to be plugging the dongle into, or something else if you want to. We have a little bit of film here to take off as well. Boom. So we have the Razer dongle right here. So there are two prongs here and two prongs on this mouse as well. So, oh my, wow. Okay, I've never quite seen Razer do this before. The actual surface of the dock is either extremely grippy or it has a bit of adhesive on it to pretty much put the dock in one place, and it is extremely difficult to move this dock. Like, I'm really trying to push it here and it is not going anywhere. It's only when you kind of try to tip it over is when the dock actually moves. Wow, that is extremely grippy. Let's find the cable inside the box here and actually plug this guy in. Very cool. Ooh, and you do of course get some lovely Razer stickers that I believe have RGB. Oh yes, they do. So depending on how the light reflects off of these stickers, they will kind of change color and stuff. We have the Razer three-headed snake logo, the Razer logo in text, for gamers by gamers, and of course powered by Razer Chroma stickers. Two of those guys. We have this little piece of paper right there saying unleash your true potential. And of course, Razer CEO, Min Liang Tan, writing his signature there as well. And finally, Razer Viper Ultimate, a lovely booklet here telling you all about your mouse. Cool. And finally, we have this very, very high quality and not to mention quite lightweight braided cable as well. Anything else in the box here? I do not think so. So the Razer charging dock is over here. Now using this cable, you can either go ahead and plug the cable directly into the mouse and make this into a wired mouse. I know, that's crazy and all. Or you can go ahead and plug this cable into this thing right here, this charging dock. So we've gone ahead and plugged that in. Let's take the wireless dongle out. And as you can see, the mouse just disappeared in Razer Synapse. And we can plug this dongle into the Razer charging dock itself. All right, so we're downloading another update over on Razer Synapse now. This is for the Razer Viper Ultimate dock over here. And the dock, of course, does have RGB. As you can see, it's pretty much a 360 degree RGB ring all around this guy. Whether or not this dock supports fancy LED lighting effects such as wave or, fire, starlight, stuff like that, I have a feeling the lighting effects on this dock are just as basic as the lighting effects found on the mouse, but perhaps I'm wrong. Okay, Razer Chroma mouse charging dock is set up and ready to go. Perhaps Razer's planning on adding more mice that actually support this exact same charging dock in the near future. Alright, so in Razer Synapse, we now have a separate thing for our charging dock entirely. So this is called the accessory. We can increase the brightness. Hell yeah, alright. Pretty decently bright LEDs, and as I kind of expected, very, very basic lighting effects. But what is cool is this. When we put the mouse on top of it, okay. So one thing I noticed straight away is that there is pretty much magnets that snap this mouse directly into place. And we have the docked charging status indicator effects right here. We're running at, I think, around 71% battery at the moment. Yeah, 71% battery, as you can see there. Hop back onto accessory. So we are currently on the breathing green effect, as you can see right here. Both the charging dock and the mouse LED logo itself are perfectly in sync as well. Actually, I think we're currently on like the yellow breathing effect. So I guess 50 to 75%, it'll be stuck on this effect. All right, cool. So once this mouse gets to 75% battery and up, it'll switch to breathing in green. And then once it hits 100% battery, it'll switch to a static green color, showing you that, hey, the mouse is fully charged. You can go ahead and use it, man. What I want to see as well is whether or not there's any delay from when we take the mouse off. Yeah, you can just straight away begin to use it. So we've docked the mouse. It's kind of blinking away and stuff, syncing up the LEDs. And you can straight away begin to use the mouse again. And man, this mouse on something like a 240 hertz display, wow. Like, obviously on video, it's not gonna look the same. This is a 60 FPS video you're watching, but my lord, on a 240 hertz display, this mouse, this is like the perfect pair, my guy. Like, damn. I need to fire up Steam and actually get a mouse mat for this mouse. I need a mouse mat, and I do happen to have one right here, as I do have another Razer Mamba Hyperflux mouse right there, and a lovely mouse mat to go along with it. This mouse mat is also reversible, so we have the cloth surface, which is kind of dirty and never used, and then we have the hard surface, which is the surface that I always use when gaming. All right, let's pop the mouse on top of here. Right, let's hop on Deathmatch. I can't tell you how much I enjoy using this laptop and this display, like especially for Counter-Strike. Oh my lord. Going from something like this is a 100 hertz ultra wide 1440p display, VA panel, you know, it's a great display, don't get me wrong, but it's only 100 hertz. And I feel like even saying only 100 hertz is kind of bad, but my god, going from 100 to 240 hertz, there is a night and day difference. Playing on this is unbelievably smooth. Going to this feels like it's lagging, which is unfortunately just the truth. I want to see how this mouse actually is, man. You already kind of see me actually gaming on this channel. Ooh, man, I can't tell you how smooth this is. Let's hop down here. I feel like I should probably be using like a sniper, right? So you can hopefully hit like some cool flicks. So far, the mouse feels pretty comfortable, if you ask me. There's a guy in pit. See if we can get him. Oh, I legged him there. Damn it. Hit him for 85. I feel like I should definitely start making some gaming videos, especially with this mouse, man. Like, I could definitely be a professional Counter-Strike player now, guys. Finally, one more thing I'd like to mention before we finish up this video is this mouse. As you can see, the mouse feet on here look very different to, you know, your typical mouse feet found on something like a Razer Mamba Hyperflux mouse, or even like a Razer Death Adder, whatever. The mouse feet found on the Razer Viper Ultimate mouse are 100% PTFE, of the purest, most highest quality, as mentioned on the Razer website. Basically, I'm going to show you exactly why these mouse feet are so unbelievably good. So we have standard mouse feet on the Razer Mamba Hyperflux mouse right here. Now bear in mind, this has been used for several years, and the actual mouse feet on here aren't as smooth as they used to be on day one. But I'm going to go ahead and show you just how smooth and how slick the mouse feet on this mouse actually are. Now bear in mind, there is actually like a sizable weight difference between these two mice, but regardless, this is how the Razer Mamba Hyperflux mouse glides on the Razer Firefly Hard Edition mouse mat right here. Okay, it doesn't really slide or glide very easily. And then we have the Razer Viper Ultimate. Look at this guy, man. It just glides effortlessly. It's so slick. Like, this really does allow you to be very precise and very quick with your movements in game. Now I really am putting down pretty much the exact same amount of force as I push these mice, and see how far this one glides and this one really doesn't. Alright, but that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching my unboxing of the Razer Viper Ultimate Mouse, my new daily driver. I'm going to be switching to this finally from the Razer Mamba Hyperflux mouse. I'm excited to see whether or not this will make me like a better player in Counter-Strike or whatever, but maybe it will. We'll see what happens, man. I'm liking the mouse so far. It's pretty damn nice, and I like that Razer finally brought back the old charging dock for their wireless mice. I remember Razer released the Razer Lancehead, which didn't have a charging dock at all. The Razer Lancehead Wireless Edition is what I'm talking about there. But I'm very glad to see the return of a Razer mouse charging dock like this one here. It's pretty damn good. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Link in the description, of course, to the Razer Viper Ultimate. I'll try to leave a link to Amazon and the Razer store. And of course, if you want to go pick up a Razer blade as well to go along with your Razer Viper Ultimate mouse. Pretty good combo here if you ask me. 240Hz display, very responsive wireless mouse here for esports. Pretty damn good combo here. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Check out the TechBlock merch store. Does it have RGB? Link in the description as well. And I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye.